What is good, everybody? It's the Casual Consumer coming to another video. This is for my quick movie review of The Batman. Yeah, starring Robert Pattinson, directed by Matt Reeves. Did it live up to the hype? Was it everything we all wanted and more in a Batman movie? We're going to get into all of that and more. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get active on this movie review. Like I said, this movie stars Robert Pattinson and his portrayal of the Batman. A much younger version of Batman before he really got his moral code fully intact. And you know what? I actually like that. It was a more grittier, darker version of Batman. And I appreciated that aspect of it. There's some other things I didn't appreciate about this Batman, but you know, ultimately, I thought he did a okay job. This movie was okay. There was some high moments of the movie, high points of the movie, and there was some low points for me in this movie. Let's start with the good first. The villains. You know, they say a superhero is only good as its strongest villains. Or weakest villains. At least that's what I like to say. And this movie, every villain was great to me. The Riddler. I loved him. He had a menacing tone, a menacing presence about him throughout the movie up until he was revealed. And he was kind of a dorky, nerdy guy. But still, he was kind of menacing. You didn't know what he was up to. You could tell he had a twisted mind. And everything he was doing was well thought out and well planned. Obviously, it's the Riddler, of course. Everything he does, every villain in Batman actually is well thought out, well planned. They're really calculated and really strategic in their plans, and could cause a lot of chaos. And that's what he did. He really caused a lot of chaos here for Batman. But the thing that made him really great in my mind, the people he was going after was all the corrupt politicians, the corrupt DA, the corrupt mayor. So you couldn't really argue too much. Even Batman was like, you know, I mean, he kind of had it coming to. Batman was saying this, was like, you know what? I mean, I get it, but death is kind of extreme. Some of the acts were a little extreme, but ultimately he was going after. He was enacting his version of vengeance, his version of justice. So I mean, I kind of get it. I couldn't fault the Riddler too much. His actions towards the ends was a little extreme, trying to sink the whole city. But going after the corrupt politicians and the mayors, you can kind of understand. I mean, you got to kind of twist your mind to it, but you can see where he's coming from on that one. The Penguin. Hilarious. The Penguin was he was one of my favorite, man. He had such good comebacks to the Batman and Commissioner Gordon. He was just hilarious. He was on point. I loved everything about the Penguin. It seems like he's fully haven't gone into his evil ways as of yet. It looks like he's getting ready to, but I mean, ultimately he was funny. I like the Penguin in this movie. The overall tone of this movie as well was really good. It was nice, dark, gritty. It's everything you would expect out of Gotham City to be. You know, the thugs, the villain, the city is kind of just crumbling apart before Batman. It seems like everything he does, it's just doing more harm to the city. And there was a reason for it. Which ties into my next point, actually, and why I really love the movie. The story was great. I liked how they kind of tied it back from the very beginning. Batman made a phrase when he ran into his first set of thugs. He said, you know, I am vengeance. You know, his big reveal, you know, is usually I am Batman, but he said I am vengeance. And that they kind of how you say it, they brought it full circle at the end, because eventually the whole story was basically leading to the point of Batman realizing what he's doing, and the way he's enacting his version of justice, his version of vengeance, is in a way where he's encouraging villains to enact their own form of vigilante justice, which Riddler was doing the whole time, was enacting his version of vigilante justice towards all the corrupt politicians, the mayors, the DA, all of them. So, it really got me thinking towards the end. I was like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Because at the end, Riddler was like, yeah, we're partners. What are you talking about? I couldn't do it without you. You're great. We're good guys here, You're my pal. And Batman was like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't know you. Get out of here. You're freaking sick in the head. It took the big event at the end, as far as Riddler trying to destroy the whole city, for Batman to kind of start realizing, okay, what I'm doing is not the right way. I got to give people hope. I can't lead with fear and have everybody fear this vigilante hero, because all it's going to do is breed more others like him trying to enact justice instead of fulfilling, doing good in the world, fulfilling the promises that his father had made. That was a big point in the movie as well. His father making a big promise to donate a whole bunch of money to the city, getting killed right before it really happening, and it never happened. And Batman being kind of a recluse and not really taking the time and the initiative to put himself out there and to kind of help and to continue his father's legacy. He decided to do this, the whole Batman thing, and help out in his own way, while not knowing he was gonna be causing more evil and more mayhem to spread out throughout the city. So I thought that was pretty good. Catwoman was pretty good too, actually. I thought Zoe Kravitz did a really good job with her. She was very believable. It wasn't anything too crazy that she was doing that made it kind of seem really unbelievable. So everything that she really did seemed like a fit for Catwoman, and she did a really good job portraying the character as well. So no complaints with her at all. So ultimately, most of the movie was really good. Like I said, I really enjoyed lots of the aspects of this movie. I bet you guys can tell there was one big piece of the pie that I kind of left out of all my good comments about the movie. And unfortunately, it was Robert Pattinson himself. The Batman. I felt like he did a better job as Batman than Bruce Wayne. He didn't really seem believable to me. It's definitely a younger version of Batman, so I got to give him that. But to me, I wasn't really feeling this Batman. He didn't really give me that vibe. Like, okay, I'm listening to somebody that's an important character, an important person in this world, in this universe. It just seemed like a guy just trying to enact his own justice, doing some ridiculous stunts. Speaking of ridiculous stunts, the flying, the CG, oh my God, it was like some of the worst I've ever seen. When he zipped up and did his little squirrel costume to fly, just terrible. I don't know what they were thinking with that. Same thing when he clipped when he did the run down the wall. Come on, man, terrible. I just didn't like. And like I said, some version when he was interacting with the Riddler, I thought it was great back and forth. I feel like the world and the villains were more so the stars of this movie, and that's what they were kind of highlighting. Not necessarily the Batman. He seemed like just a figurehead into this movie, or just they had to have a protagonist in here just for story's sake to kind of keep things moving, whereas everything else was more interesting to me. Catwoman, her struggle with her father, her whole struggle with the friend trying to figure out what's going on, how her friend got kidnapped, what happened to her, everything that was going on with the Penguin at the club, the Riddler, why was he killing these people? It kind of started, like I said, it started out in such a way where you were curious about what was going on with the Riddler and why was he going after these people and trying to figure out the mystery of it. Every clue that he left, trying to figure out what was going on. You didn't really care about the Batman. Batman was just a means to the end to figure out what was going on with the Riddler. I feel like that was backwards. If you're really trying to make us care about Batman, I didn't really give a damn about Batman at the end. It was really trying to figure out why the Riddler was doing what he was doing, his motivations behind what he was doing. And that is usually the mark of a great villain, but I need Batman to meet you where he's at too, the villain's at too, because if it doesn't, you just kind of have a mediocre movie. This movie I could really see on a Saturday afternoon on Fox or something like that, playing in a few years. I mean, I don't think this is gonna be a rise to the level of the Dark Knight trilogy movies. This is not that. This is definitely not that. This is just a okay regular movie, and unfortunately I think it's because the Batman was just pretty average in this movie. So to me, the movie was okay. I love the villain. I love how they brought Batman's story back around, made him realize that what he was doing was wrong, or going about it the wrong way. But ultimately, the Batman didn't work out, so the whole movie didn't work out too well, in my opinion. But I mean, it's worth checking out. It's a little long too. That's the other. It was a little long. It could have been 30, 40 minutes shorter. Probably would have been great. It was dragged out too long for a Batman not to be amazing in this movie. That hurt me, man. That it really did. Too long. All right, guys, that was my review of the movie. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about the movie. What was your favorite part? Do you guys agree with me? Was Batman the worst part of the movie to you guys as well? Or was he just an amazing hero and I'm just kind of out of my mind? Let me know. I'd love to hear it, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, and you guys have a good one. Oh, hit the subscribe button. And like if you like the video, of course. Anyways, guys, have a good one.